to the Season 15 review with Liverpool for Football Manager 2012. And this is actually the wrong screen. I should be on the league. I just realised. Here we are, and this is how it looks at the moment. A bit of a different theme to last year. We are actually top this time, but drink top by simply 2 goals. It wasn't Chelsea this time or battling out. It seems to be a different team every year. You know, we've got Tottenham one year, we've had Chelsea another year, we've had Arsenal last year, we had United a few years earlier. So I don't know, it's a bit weird. It's all over the place, sort of this top 6 fiasco. But we are top. It is mostly in down to, I suppose, we have scored. Have we scored? Yeah, we have scored the most goals. And we have the second best conceded score as well. Chelsea have yet to even break into double figures with goals conceded. Look at that. That's impressive. But, you know, I mean, if we look at top... let's include Arsenal. So let's include Arsenal. I don't know why they've slid so badly. I don't know. They really were romping last year, but they're not doing very poorly this time. But let's include the top 6 here. All within 9 points of the title. So, you know, it's... I mean, look at that gap there between Arsenal and Leicester. That's big. It's really weird, actually, seeing the sort of Europa League spot. I mean, you'd expect the likes of Newcastle, Everton, maybe Blackburn. But, you know, we've got Leicester, Southampton, Sunderland and Birmingham to finish that top 10 off. I don't quite get that. There you go. But, yeah, that's how the league looks. Let's have a look at our transfers. Now... For those, actually, no, I'll go over outs first. I'll go over the outs. Peter Jalija was the first casualty, I suppose. He is now at Atletico, weirdly. He was I think he went on a Bosman, actually. The problem with this was I had too many strikes. I had to let one go, as you'll see. Kadlec also went later. His contract was also... Actually, no. I gave him a new contract. It's at Blackburn. What's with Blackburn and taking my strikers? He's going to score against me now again. Basically I had more Fiero, Goetz, and maybe 1 or 2 more coming into that whole thing. And who else? Fredinho as well, so I couldn't even remember my bloody strikers then. And Jellies just didn't have... He's good. He was good and he did well for the 8 years or so he was here. But he just couldn't quite have the impact, you know, if you know what I mean. You know, he didn't have the straight impact of some of the other players, and it's a shame really because he was really really good for the time. But you know, I'd bring him on. He wasn't the player I'd look to. You know, I'd look to Moore first, or I'd look to Fiero, or I'd look to Goetz, or I'd look to Fredinho, and it's like, well, he's all the way down the list. And Kadlec was also another one. He scored, but he's getting on a bit now as well. So, you know, last time I let him go, it was like, well, maybe he's just not good enough. But in this one, he's actually getting him on a bit now, so it's like fair play. May remember this guy, I signed him, he turned into rubbish. He's at Bristol Rovers, shows how good he actually is. Junior Shimpy, now this was just to help myself a bit. Just to free up... my left back position. He is a really good I'm hoping, you know, he's a really good left back, and I just wanted to give him first team experience, like proper first team experience. How is he doing actually? He's played 12 games, got 3 assists. Not bad. Hasn't scored yet, but it's not bad at all. You know, give him first team experience. He's only 22. Let him have it. Rui Silva also went. He was one who he was again good. I mean, he spent a fair amount of time here. I mean, I bought him for just under 5 million, sold him on for 7. You know, I mean, he was good for the time I had him, similar to Jalija, but he didn't have like that impact quality I always talk about. You know, the one where it's like he'll come on and he will get you a goal, whereas these two didn't have that. And also, that one isn't too bad usually, but Rui Silva especially is especially bad at moaning. He really doesn't like. I got to a point where it was we played 5 games in the league. He played 3 of them, and he was like, "I want first team football," and it's like, well, I'm sorry, you're not good enough for 5 out of 5 games. Fuck off. So I sold him in the end in January. Same with Chris Harvey. Now this was annoying really because again he was fairly similar. I didn't really know what. Honestly, I'd regret signing. To be honest, it wasn't because he was bad. I didn't have room for him. Also, he didn't. I didn't know what he did. I don't really know his role. He didn't really add anything to the midfield. Whereas you had Massari and Motta, my two Italian centre mids, and they've got Alonso, a lot younger as well. Actually, no, he's not that much younger, a little bit younger. And I was like, well, I don't know what these guys do. So I saw them off in the end, and because he wants his first team football, and I let him go. And Gabrielli, I tried converting him into a. Now, for those who've been following this for a bit, I tried to convert him into a libero, as you can see with a sweeper role here, but he just wasn't very good at it, and I didn't trust him enough to play him as a defensive, as a centre back, but because he just wasn't. I mean, obviously he's 6'5". I mean, he's big in the air and all that, but it was like, I don't know, he just sort of lacked that extra quality. I don't know what it is. Um, I don't know. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, and he wasn't that great at defensive mid either. So again, I let him go. Bit of a disappointment, really, but there you go. Anyway, looking at the players I've brought in, Ryan Bergen, who's American. A lot of Americans now really good on this. Strange hair, I know, but he is very, very good. Actually, he scored a hat trick against me for West Brom last season, and the funny thing was, I actually completely unnoticed to me, I put a scout report on him because I was sizing him up, and I was like, okay, I'll scout report him. Didn't really remember his name, and then he scored a hat trick against me, and I went to buy him, and he was transfer listed. I was like, come on, come to daddy. So I went with him, and 30 million, and he wouldn't settle for anything less than that. It was that or nothing. So I was like, feck it, just spend it. This guy called Marius Alcaver, I think is how you pronounce it. Barcelona wonder kid. As you can see, he is a wonder kid. He's done okay. He's only made 11 appearances overall and 8 goals with 4 assists as well. He is not at all bad. He's a very good little player. This guy, and I have high hopes for him. This one here, now you may be thinking, hang on, whoa, you've brought in a centre mid here, £15 million. He's 21. Why have you? What's the difference between this guy and Chris Harvey? He has a lot more of an impact straight away. He's got more assists than Harvey. I mean, he hasn't played a great deal. I mean, look, he's been absolutely everywhere. I think he's been at a different club almost every season. He started at Lyon, then at Man City. So I didn't even know he was at Man City when I bought him. Then he went to Oldham, which is a bit weird. Bruges, Watford, again another weird one. Lorient, I can never know how to say it. FC Lorient, I'm just going to whatever, that team. Man City again, and then Lille bought him, and then I bought him. So yeah, hopefully he can find a settled club, because he seems through his teenage years he couldn't settle down. But hopefully, his stats are better than Harvey, and yeah, he has that extra bit of flair. Now this one again at centre mid again. I'm hoping this guy will be sort of that experience, the next Johan Gorkov. By someone who's sort of coming up to their late 20s, early 30s. And get a good decent amount. He's got the experience. I'm not buying a load of youngsters anymore. He's called. I don't even know his first name. I'm just going to call him Muda Afo, and he is again pretty decent. He's got Blackburn, and he's good to have that experience. He's from a country I'd never heard of before called Benin. Who's in Africa. I don't know where, but yeah, there you go. He's the captain of Benin, so he's all right. And then finally, I've just bought this guy here called Byron Barnes, which is a brilliant name. He's English, young. He has decent potential. As you can see, 3 stars. And yeah, he's either a right mid or a centre back. Let's get Rodolphe Borrells on this. He was actually better during the scout report. Actually, try it right back. I think I've played him in one game as well. But 3-star potential, I thought it was good enough. So yeah, that's that. So how are we doing then with the goals and stuff? So how are the goals flying in? No Goetz. Now I had to have a bit of a chat with old Noah over here. He had a really crap start. Oh, excuse me. And I said to him, listen, you're going to have to pick your game up. And he responded straight away. He scored like 2 goals. He has 2 goals in his first game back, and then just kept scoring ever since. Guyan also chipping in with a very nice 10, more with 9. Hassley also chipping in as well. Young, Norwegian lad. You got Sadler, Fredinho, Fierro, Alcaver, say that with 4. This is all in the. This is not this. No, it's not. It's This is all competitions. Let's remember that. But yes, it is a really big squad still. But it was like I didn't know where to stick or twist because ages ago I had still a big squad, but I think that the whole thing that kind of summed up for me was the fact that I had to use Ron Lescott in the FA Cup final against Tottenham. So I was like, okay, I'm bashing this midfield. I'm putting loads of players in. And, there's players now I'm trying to, get partnerships in. There's Damien Lawson, who I've had through my academy. He looks quite good. Where's he from? Is he from Liverpool or is he? Either way, like, you get loads of people from places like Cleethorpes, say, and all that. It's really annoying. They're not, like, from Liverpool. Anyway, and maybe they're just people from Liverpool crap on this. I don't know. But yeah, we've got now players. I mean, if I look at the ages now as well, I mean, there's a slight bit of aging here. Goetze is 33. Apparently it's Kiyea now, not Kajia. I've been saying Kajia for absolutely like 20 episodes or something. But it's Kiyea who is my captain. I don't even kind of pronounce my fucking captain's name right. He's going to be retiring at the end of the season. He's 36. And actually, no, he's not my captain anymore. I've given it to Goetz, who is now the official captain. Since he's going to be retiring. Goetz is also 33, Eriksen's 33, Alaba's 33, even Goetz is 31 now. That's not that old actually. That's peak pretty much, isn't it? I was really excited with some of these youngsters. Novello I've had in the team for ages. He's really good now. He's established part of this team. Alonso, good in the centre of midfield. Masari. So basically, it's like with the midfield now. I can show you. I'll tell you what. I'll do a little treat for you before we get on to the games. In fact, no, I'll show you the games first, and then if you want to stick around and watch me do tactics and stuff, I'll do that. But let's go over the fixtures quickly. How are we doing so far? So we started off without a Community Shield for the first time in God knows how long. Started off, believe it or not, against newly promoted Scunthorpe, and it resulted in a 0-0. Absolutely horrendous. Look at that. Look at these. Hang on. Let's get this. I've clicked the wrong one. Never mind. We'll check this. I think actually, what I'll be able to. Yeah, let me just show you this. I'll just show you. I'll stop mumbling and show you this, because this is unbelievable. That's Scunthorpe, right? How do I change to Liverpool? There's ours. Yeah, look at that shot. What happened there? Who was that? I think that was Jerry Moore, number 11. Action zones here. I mean, utter domination, absolute domination. Let's have a look here. I mean, Jerry Moore was shot. Is that shot? Yep, shots attempted. He was extremely wasteful. Matai in his first game looked actually alright, to be fair to him. But yeah, I mean, let's have a look at the stats here as well. I mean, Jerry Moore was awful. Alcaver did quite well. I mean, I had to take him out of hard time because I thought, it's a good game to throw him into. It's newly promoted team, shouldn't be too much of a problem. When the goalkeeper, as you can see, is man of the match, you have a bit of a problem. Also, a good debut for Affo, as well as I've got Hasley in there. And Gregory, who's a young goalkeeper, I think one of the greyed out goalkeepers. If you don't have a second keeper registered, I've actually played him. He's not like a registered squad member, but when you don't have a secondary goalkeeper, it will put a one in just for you, so it's have to register another one. It's quite useful. And then we finally did register the first goal of the campaign. It was Cadlech, believe it or not, against Wolves. Pretty dominant game again. Alcaver got his first goal. Simon Moore also. So it's 3-0 inside 18 minutes. Still great response. And things got better actually as we took on Blackburn. And Hasley could have had 4. Did eventually though get a hat trick. So I've really got high hopes on him again. He's doing really well. Again, it was though another defeat at City. Pretty even overall. But again, it was the big players like Caratazzolo letting us down, and Fredinho. Fredinho is consistently inconsistent. He's horribly annoying because one game he'll have the best game of his life and score a hat-trick and do brilliantly, skin up opposition, left, right and centre, do brilliantly. Other games he will do absolutely nothing at all. He'll just go missing. He's like Frank Lampard. Just big games, he'll go missing. But against the against most other opposition, he'll do brilliantly. And it's really annoying. And don't even say that's not what Frank Lampard does. The amount of times I've gone back to a Chelsea big Chelsea game, thinking, "Where's Lampard and all this?" It just goes missing. This has got even worse. Then a loss against Standard. Now, if you've watched an earlier episode where we played Standard again in the Champions League, you may remember this guy scored a hat-trick. He scored 4 goals against me. Well, now make it 5. Guy Vervoort, yet again for Standard, scoring against me. I hate this guy. Uh, thank God he's a regen, otherwise I'd have to hunt him down personally and kill him myself to do that and remove him from the database, and I'm only kidding, of course. But yeah, we again got let down by the big players. I think it was quite poor. I think, again, I underestimated maybe throwing Alcaver in there. He didn't really do much. I also threw on Jurgen Schwartz, who I've got high hopes on. Bought him in when he was 15, but he's kind of gone down since then. Actually, I think I need to give them first team experience a lot quicker than that. But thankfully, we played Arsenal at home and pretty much dominated this game. Jerry Moore finally getting his act together. I think I gave him a bit of a kick in as well and said, "Listen, get your act together, or you're getting out the team." And so, we played Arsenal, beat Blackburn in the League Cup. Chris Harvey actually got his goal, and then later on sold him, of course, in January. 2-2 versus Newcastle. This was annoying because Neil Young, a lot of really good players called Young on this. It's really annoying. Ryan Bergen, I think, got his first goal. But yeah, this was a beautifully frustrating game. It's horrible. We did beat Bayern Munich, though, in the Champions League, which was good. Guyan and Bergen with the goal. We just about held out in the end. 5-0 against Borough, a bit of a massacre, this one, at home. Guyan, Goetz, Hasley and Garfanini with the goals. Another loss in the Champions League against Fenerbahce. I don't know what happened there. I think they just kind of got... I mean, again, the goalkeeper, man of the match, says it all. 4-0 against Wolves in the League Cup here, so we're doing quite well in that so far. Kayeyu with his one goal and Moore also chipping in. We went on well, but then we had 6-0 against Fenerbahce. It's like, well, what happened here? Fredinho, that's what I mean. Fredinho with a hat-trick, 31 shots, and just the one for Fenerbahce. And, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Fredinho, he goes missing and then has the game of his life. He's annoying. Derby 3-0 win. And at this point, we really got our act together. Dominated the Derby, as ever. After that Fenerbahce loss, we really kicked on. Good win against West Brom. Bergen, I don't think, did he score? No, Langeveld got his goal. Fredinho again with another one. 2-0 win against Man United. This is what I mean. We really did kick on. Affo, I think, got his first goal as well. I think. We applied to standards, took them back to our place, and no Goetz with 4 goals. Yes, 6, 8, 47 and 92. He went a little bit sick in this game. Tottenham, though, at this point were actually top of the table and flying. They were in such good form. We had no response to this team until they were flying. Coolen, this guy, he's a great player. They've got a lot of Dutch players. Coolen and Akbar, I think, is actually a real player. I think he is, yeah. I still don't know who's a real player and who's a regen anymore on this, but he's a bit older now. But he's good. He was terrible for me when I managed Holland, actually. He was rubbish, but we had no response for that Tottenham team. And we had a great game against Bayern Munich, 5-3. Goetz tried his best, but this guy called Maric was too much in the end for us. Couldn't go in there. Dale Jennings, 33, English player in the German league. He scored against us, and Schufler there, or Schussler, I don't know. I think you pronounce the this weird B-shaped letter. I think you pronounce that as an S, I believe. As a double S, as I was told. And then a loss against Chelsea, who are also climbing the table at this point. They've got Phil Knight, who was an absolute terror at Newcastle. Bought them for about 30 million, a bit like the Andy Carroll thing, I suppose, there, except they're a lot better. As you can see, he was really good. They've still got Gutierrez doing really good. They got Phil Jones, and yeah, they've still got some really good players. Again, Fredinho, look at that. He's doing really well. What does he do? He gets 5.5 in the next game. Awful. He really just dies on his arse. And then we played Man City in the League Cup quarter-final. We lost on penalties. Awful penalty for both teams, to be honest. Both really awful. Moore, Matai, and Hussein, and Jerry Moore. Not a good day to be at Moore there, is it? With them penalty misses, so no League Cup for us. We then happily took Scunthorpe back to our place. Jerry Moore did kick on with a hat-trick, which is good. And then we played Wickham. I think this was a team full of regens, actually. In the FA Cup third round here. A lot of young players, actually. Sort of played like Gibb, D'Agostino, Egan, Matai Motta, Hasley. A lot of young players there. I think average age of our team's like 20. We then took Man City back to our place. Matai with a penalty. Really good game. and really enjoyed this one actually. Goalkeeper was really good. Ramirez again, man of the match. So finally one of those things goes our way. 2-0 against Blackpool in the FA Cup fourth round. Fiero with 2 goals. Blackpool did not have didn't even. I was going to say have an answer. They didn't even turn up that game. And then 5-0 against Newcastle. Jerry Moore, very similar. He's been similar season where he'll turn up one game and then just disappear the other game. So yeah, he was really good. Sadler also doing really well. Alaba doing really well. Hasley also really good as too. So yeah, that's a state of play. So the Champions League group, you may be thinking, okay, what happened here? Did you qualify? Indeed, we did by the absolute skin of our teeth. Now, you may be wondering here if you're looking really quickly at the table. We're level on points. We have a better goal difference than Bayern Munich. Why are we not first? The reason for that is I believe they don't take into account goal difference first. I think it's head-to-heads. I could be wrong there, but I believe that is what it is. So let me just take you through this again, because this is incredibly dramatic. So we lost to Standard, beat Fenerbahce, lost to Fenerbahce, beat Bayern, lost to Fenerbahce, beat Fenerbahce, beat Standard, and lost to Bayern. Now, if I I don't know if I can take it back. No, I can't. Okay. So we're going to be playing Real Madrid, I should point out as well, but that's not what I'm going on about here. Which one are we? Group B. Okay, so we needed a point, basically. If we got a point, you can see how close it is. If we got a point, we're going to go through. And I believe if one of these two won, they were going to go through. And we would go into the Europa League. So I'll just set the detail for you. It was 3-2 at half time. They got 2. Goetz with the last one 5-3 pulling it back. So it was like 5-1. And at 4-5-1, it was like, okay, we're doomed at this point. And when that's going on, I check the score. I can't remember who it is. I'm going to say Fenerbahce. Fenerbahce is winning. There's right up until the 93rd minute when Frank Bauer with the Standard Liège goal. Now, what does that mean? So right up to the 93rd minute, we were going out of the Champions League. Standard then denied Fenerbahce the win, which would have sent them through. I wish I was doing that live, because I thought, well, that's it, we're out. And it says Liverpool progress. And I was like, what? I then looked at the scores. 93rd minute winner for... equaliser for Standard, and I was ready to admit defeat into the Europa League there, but yeah, unbelievable, absolutely unbelievable turn up there for Standard Liège, who unfortunately don't get the Europa League, but Fenerbahce are left to it. So yeah, we get Real Madrid, and so it's being there. Santiago Bernabeu's in the final, so. Really interesting one there. So that is as we are. I think that was the thing. So now I'll just do a squad thing for you real quick. If you don't want to see this, of course, feel free to click off the video. But yeah, this is going to be a little final thing here. I want to show you my squad, how all this goes. This is my strongest team. Now Barnes, I'm probably going to demote to the reserve since he is a bit young. But that's what I do now. Kajir, of course, is going to be retired. Not the end of this season, I beg your pardon. He's going to be retiring next season. The end of next season, I beg your pardon. Usually I play Cazorla more, but obviously I mix it up depending on what the condition is, who I'm playing, and so on. Let's say I'm playing Real Madrid, say. Let's say I'm going to play Kajir and Wheeler, and I'm probably going to play Langeveld at left back, who has now established himself as that left back. We then have players such as Goetz is still obviously in there. This is probably my strongest team. I'm probably going to go with Matai and Ericsson and Sadler probably. Garfanini's kind of slipped off the map, but he's still good, but he's a little bit wayward. Probably Jerry Moore and Fredinho. Now, one combination I do like at the moment is going to be Massari and Motta, my two Italian players. Now they both can play it at defensive and centre mid. They both play at centre mid, so they can work really well. I'm sure there's great chemistry there. I've got the experience of Afo with then the young abilities there of Alonso and Matai as well, as long as with Guyan, who's also quite young himself, and of course the aging Ericsson, who isn't actually too bothered about not playing, I don't think. So that's my sort of sentiment. I've got some really good partnerships developing there. So Yeah, that wasn't really a treat as such. I just wanted to explain, how I manage this squad because I realise it's pretty damn big. Put a lot of players in reserves like Egan and Massara and Alonso, just to keep the fitness up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So thank you very much for watching, lads, and I will be back next time with the review. So until then, see ya.